The Battle of Yavin. Luke Skywalker still couldn't believe it. Just days before, he had been living on Tatooine, thinking he'd be stuck there forever. But now, there he was, worlds away on Yavin's fourth moon. He was going to help the Rebel Alliance destroy the Galactic Empire's greatest weapon, the Death Star. But the space station's weak spot would be very hard to hit. It was only 2 meters wide. Luke reassured the other pilots. I used to bullseye womp rats in my T-16 back home. They're not much bigger than 2 meters. The rebels had to move fast. The Death Star was quickly making its way toward Yavin 4. One blast from the Death Star could destroy an entire planet in just seconds. On board the Death Star, Darth Vader was feeling confident. Earlier, he had defeated Obi-Wan Kenobi, the great Jedi leader. "This will be a day long remembered," Darth Vader told Death Star Commander Grand Moff Tarkin. "It has seen the end of Kenobi. It will soon see the end of the rebellion." Luke quickly suited up in his orange rebel pilot's uniform. As he made his way to his X-Wing fighter, he saw Han Solo and Chewbacca loading up their ship, the Millennium Falcon. Han and Chewie had helped Luke bring the Death Star plans to the rebel base. They weren't rebels, just smugglers who needed some fast money. "Why don't you stay and fight with us?" Luke asked. "What good's a reward if you ain't around to use it?" Han replied. Luke walked away from Han and boarded his X-Wing, shaking his head. On command, the fighters took off. Luke flew with the Red Squadron along with Wedge and his old friend Biggs from Tatooine. Then he heard a voice, but it wasn't over the comm system. It was inside his head. "Luke, the Force will be with you." The voice sounded like Obi-Wan's? But Luke didn't have time to think. The Death Star came into view. It looked like a quiet metal moon, but it was designed to be the ultimate weapon. Zap, zap, zap! The darkness of space lit up with the green fire of lasers as the Death Star's cannons took aim at the Red Squadron. Luke quickly steered away from the attack. Luckily, the X-Wings were designed to move with speed and agility. Back in the Rebel base, Princess Leia and C-3PO anxiously watched the battle on a digital screen. "This is Red 5. I'm going in," Luke said. He dove toward the surface, firing at the cannons. The Death Star cannons responded with a storm of laser blasts. "Luke, pull up!" Biggs warned him. Luke's blasts had damaged the surface of the Death Star, creating a huge burst of fire. Luke had no choice but to fly through the flames. Biggs held his breath until Luke emerged from the destruction unhurt. "I got a little cooked, but I'm okay," Luke reported. Another message came in from the Rebel Command Center. "Enemy fighters coming your way." Luke checked his visual scanner. 6 compact TIE fighters sped across the sky toward the rebels. A TIE fighter fired at one of the Red Squadron ships. Boom! The X-Wing exploded. Another TIE fighter targeted Biggs. Luke swooped in to help his old friend. His targeting system locked on the TIE fighter. Boom! Luke took it out before it could hit Biggs. Then another TIE fighter zapped Luke. "I'm hit, but not bad," Luke said. "R2, see what you can do with it." The little droid quickly went to work on repairs as Luke dodged another fighter. A voice came over the comm system. "This is Gold Leader. We're starting our attack run." The Gold Squadron's Y-wing fighters streaked across the sky toward the Death Star's surface. The Red Squadron tried to keep the TIE fighters busy with a skirmish. But more TIE fighters were on the way, and Darth Vader himself was piloting one of them. 3 Y-wing fighters entered the trench. They locked their targeting computers on the port. Then the Death Star's guns stopped. That could only mean one thing. The TIE fighters had entered the trench too. "I'll take them myself," Darth Vader said. "Cover me." Red laser blasts fired from Vader's TIE fighter. The expert pilot took down 3 Y-wings, one after another. The Gold Squadron had failed. Luke's heart sank as he watched the Y-wing fighters explode. The TIE fighters quickly retreated, but for how long? Only 6 members of the Red Squadron remained. Red Leader flew into the trench with the Red 10 and Red 12 pilots as backup. Luke, Wedge, and Biggs hung back. Zoom! Commander Drace led the charge through the trench. His targeting system locked on the port, but then, out of nowhere, 3 more TIE fighters swooped down from above like birds of prey. The sky lit up as they blasted Red 10 and Red 12 out of existence. Drace clenched his teeth. He could still aim for the target. He released his torpedo. Boom! It hit the Death Star, but it didn't hit the target. "I lost an engine," Drace yelled over the comm. Get set up for your attack run. It was all up to Luke, Wedge, and Biggs now. But as their 3 X-Wings entered the trench, a TIE fighter zapped Wedge's X-Wing. "I'm hit! I can't stay with you!" Wedge cried. "Get clear!" Luke warned, and Wedge steered out of the trench. Inside his TIE fighter, Darth Vader kept his focus on Luke. "The Force is strong with this one," Vader said as Luke expertly dodged his attacks. "R2, we need more power," Luke told his droid. Behind him, the 3 enemy fighters got closer and closer. Vader took aim at Biggs. The sky filled with orange fire as Biggs's fighter exploded. Now Luke was the only pilot left who could destroy the Death Star. Luke was almost in range. He was looking through the targeting scope when he heard Obi-Wan's voice again. "Use the Force, Luke." Luke hesitated. Could he do this without the scope? He didn't need it to take down the Womp Rats back home. He turned off his targeting system. Down in the trench, Darth Vader locked on Luke's X-Wing fighter. But before Vader could fire, bam! A blast rocked his ship. The Millennium Falcon swooped down, attacking the 3 TIE fighters. Han and Chewbacca had come back to help Luke. "Yahoo!" Han cheered as he took out 2 of the ships. His next blast sent Darth Vader spiraling away into space. Luke's fingers tightly gripped the thrusters of the X-Wing. This was it, the Rebel Alliance's last chance. The Force flowed through him. He could feel it now. At just the right moment, he fired his torpedoes. Then he flew away from the Death Star as fast as he could. Boom! The Death Star exploded into millions of pieces. Back on Yavin 4, trumpets swelled in the headquarters of the Rebel Alliance. Princess Leia presented Luke and Han with medals of honor. It was a proud day for the rebellion. For the first time, they had won a major victory against the Galactic Empire. There was hope for the future. A new chapter was about to begin.